Next up, we got the Waffle House, boys. The Waffle House. Honorary clappies. The Fact Files. Okay, this is definitely made by an American. Or at least it covers Americans. So, I know nothing about the whole Waffle House thing you guys have over there. We don't have Waffle Houses here, we just have places that sell waffles. What is a sovereign citizen? I have no idea. I don't even know what that means. You'll have to ask somebody else who knows. You'll just have to consult Uncle Google. But I have seen the memes of the Waffle House. It's reached a point where I've seen some Discords call their debate channel the Waffle House, because apparently it gets quite rowdy over there.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I actually debated on which channel I was going to upload this video on because on one hand, we're going over a business and the business model that it has, but on the other hand, this restaurant is basically the Roman Colosseum of the South, and I'm pretty sure if you eat there enough, you actually get a deployment patch from the U.S. military.
That sounds really funny. Waffle House, yummy? Yeah.
I wore
Big
my
yums.
snazziest tank top for the occasion. Today we're talking about Waffle
Lol.
House. Okay, just to be completely clear with everybody, I was pretty sure I was not going to get caught off guard because Waffle House is already absolutely crazy. I started looking into it and then found out that Waffle House is somehow connected to the Manhattan Project from
Wait, what? What does the Waffle House have to do with nukes?
World War II. So they managed to actually surprise me, and we're going to get to it right after a word from our sponsor.
Oh no.
Yeah, babe, what's up?
Hey, I need a boombox.
Okay, I can go get you one.
Perfect.
All right, I'll go get it now. Love you.
Love you.
She is the boombox.
All right, bye.
1 hour later.
Where's that boombox that I asked for?
Oh, it's right
Who are
here. I
you?
got it for you.
Nice.
What is this?
The boombox.
See, cause it goes boom.
No, I wanted something to play music with.
You can play music with guns. I've seen Russians do it.
Oh, that kind of boombox.
Sovereign citizens regard stuff like driver's licenses and social security as illegitimate. They're anti-government, but taken to 11 out of 10. Interesting, interesting. Okay, okay. Hey, hot take. If you take away driver's licenses, you have to put a much more severe consequences for bad driving practices in place. So if you don't have driving, if you just take away, say, driving licenses in the US, if you mess up, you are going to jail for 10 years for driving on the wrong side of the road. And if you hit someone, you're getting executed. You gotta compromise people. Because you cannot have a bunch of crazy people driving on the road who don't know how to drive and with no verifiable way to know that they know how to drive, causing chaos everywhere. So that's why, if you did do that, you gotta make sure that you have really harsh punishment for that. Also, what exactly is Social Security? I don't even know what that is. Like, I know Americans have this thing called Social Security and Social Security numbers. And apparently it has something to do with 9/11. I don't know. But we don't have that down here. But I don't know what it is exactly. So if any Americans in the chat can give me a brief TLDR, I'd appreciate it. It's America's biggest illegal Ponzi scheme? Yeah, I knew it sounded a little bit scammy. Let me guess. It's the solution to a manufactured problem, so the government gains either financial gains or control. That's my guess, and I know nothing about it, but I can already see where this is going.
Yeah, I got this instead.
Okay, we'll go to the store and get me a boombox so I can listen to music.
It's money taken on paychecks, and on paper it's supposed to go to your retirement. Let me guess, it doesn't actually do that. Cheeseburger munch scheming? What?
Can I keep this one still?
I
Lol.
don't care.
This video is brought to you by Delete Me. Okay, super simple business model. You give them money, they turn around and they make sure that online data brokers are not selling your personal information online. Okay, here's the deal. Pretty much anytime you use a free service on the internet, you click that little box that says I agree to the
When you use code FATFILES, you get 20% off.
terms
Nice.
and conditions. You
So if I use code OBESEFILES, do I get 30% off?
basically just agreed to allow them to harvest as much of your personal information as humanly possible. They then turn around and sell that to online data brokers, and that's how they can afford to offer you a free service.
Hot take. Illegalize. Completely ban data selling.
But when you have Delete Me, they go and they monitor all of these online data brokers for your personal information, and then if they find it, they submit all the opt-out forms on your behalf, so they have to take down and stop selling that information. So when you buy Delete Me, you're not actually buying anything, you're just buying your way out of all the negative consequences of all the free shit that you've already got. And because they continue to monitor those data brokers, you're buying yourself out of all the future negative consequences of all
sweet.
the free shit that you haven't even gotten yet. So if you want to give Delete Me a try, there's going to be a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, Waffle House.
Pluggers.
The story begins with a gentleman by the name of Tom Faulkner. This man
Is there a Tom Knifner and a Tom Spooner as well?
graduated from law school at 23 years old, passed the bar, and immediately gets drafted in 1940 in the days leading up to World War II. Because he graduated from college, he's presented with
Oh, excuse me.
two different options. He can A, go straight into officer training, and that's a 3-year commitment, or he can just be a normal draftee and go in as an enlisted soldier, and that is a 1-year commitment. Now,
Oh,
you gotta remember, at this point in time, like
Thank you.
1940, while World War II is currently going on, America's not involved yet. The attack on Pearl Harbor has not happened. And prior to the attack on Pearl Harbor, the American people did not want to go to war. Because of that, Tom Faulkner figures, hey, we're not
oh,
actually
almost
going
sneezed
off to
again.
war.
Bless you
I don't
times 2,
wanna
thank you.
waste 3 years of my time just being in the military, not actually, fighting a war or whatever. So he chooses to be a draftee. Goes into the military as an enlisted soldier, E1 private. From there, goes off to basic training. As soon as he gets through basic training, the attack on Pearl Harbor ends up happening. America enters the war. He immediately opts to go into OCS training and commits for 3 years. After
Bless,
he completes
thank
the
you.
officer training course, he actually gets slotted to be a counterintelligence officer where he does, and I quote, a lot of top secret stuff.
You see, my
Oh,
identity must remain mysterious and my mission secret. I cannot reveal it to you.
You can actually tell in the interviews that he gave later on in his life, like in his 70s, 80s, and 90s, that he's still not sure what he is and what he isn't allowed to talk about. But he did end up telling us that basically it was his job to try to sneak onto military bases, not as military personnel. So he would basically disguise himself as like
Bless
a
you, thank
painter
you.
or a carpenter or whatever, and try to infiltrate a U.S. military base to expose weaknesses within the system to help counteract enemy spies. So he
ooh, so he's basically one of those, he's kind of like one of those, what do you call it? White hackers, where they like hack into your system just to show vulnerabilities and then they can fix it up. But, for military bases.
does that for a couple of years, and then one day he ends up getting orders like, hey, you're going to Knoxville, Tennessee. And he's like, okay, for what? And they're like, don't fucking worry about it, just show up. So he shows up in Tennessee and he's given his orders, and those orders, I'm paraphrasing here, but they're essentially, hey, here's your partner, you two are gonna hop in that truck and you were gonna drive it from Knoxville, Tennessee to Los Alamos, New Mexico. You guys are gonna dress in plain clothes, you're not gonna look at what's inside the truck, you're not gonna talk about what's inside the truck, you're gonna take this map and take that exact route. This route avoids every major city and every major highway. You were gonna drive straight there, 53 hours straight, taking turns
Damn.
sleeping in the passenger seat and not stopping for any reason whatsoever. And he does this for
This is
like
some
a year
deep
and a
lore
half,
for
pretty
Waffles.
much non-stop, and then like 20, 30 years after the fact, he finds out that he was actually hauling the majority of the enriched uranium for all of the nuclear testing and the building of
What?
nuclear weapons.
That's insane. Imagine being the guy who was hauling all the uranium.
Which, as we all know, brings about the end of World War II, at which point he gets out of the military, moves back home to Atlanta, Georgia, starts helping his dad out with his real estate agency. Now, he does that for about 10 years, and during this time, he ends up selling the house right next door to his to another guy by the name of Joe Rogers, and they pretty much become best friends. Joe
Ooh,
Rogers
yay.
was also an Army
Friend.
veteran. He was actually a pilot that flew B-24s in World War II. When Joe got back
Fancy.
home after the war, he did not want to go off to college, so he actually just took the first job that he was offered, being a short-order cook at a now-defunct restaurant chain known as Toddle House. He worked his way up, becoming a restaurant manager.
Let me guess. Toddle House became Waffle House.
Then eventually becoming a regional manager. And then one day his neighbor and best friend, Tom Faulkner, real estate agent, always looking for the next investment, comes to him and is like, hey, I'm thinking about opening up my own restaurant. I can get the real estate deal going on that side. I just wanted to know, like, if I opened up and bought a franchise of Toddle House, would you be willing to run it for me? Now at this point, it's like 1954, 1955. Joe Rogers has a ton of experience inside the restaurant industry, and he basically tells his best friend, like, hey, don't open a Toddle House. You should start your own thing. Toddle House's business model isn't that great. If you start your own restaurant, I will help you run it. He then
Bro, imagine having such a best friend. He offers to help you run your business. A dream come true.
goes off on vacation with his family, and by the time he comes back, Tom Faulkner has already bought the real estate and comes to Rogers and is like, cool, what's the business we're starting?
Where's Pancake's house? We stop at Pancake's house.
And within the span of like 6 months, the very first of what is now the legendary restaurant chain of Waffle House opens. And Waffle
So this is the legendary Waffle House. From a random law student to a draftee to the guy transporting nuclear bomb materials to opening up Waffle House. This lore runs pretty deep.
Waffle House is legendary, probably for all the wrong reasons. I mean, even if you've never been to a Waffle House, you've heard about Waffle House because, well, I mean, Kid Rock got in a fight there. You've got
What?
Haley Booth, the viral Waffle House cook, known
Do I even want to know the story behind that?
as the last chairbender.
The last chairbender? What?
There's entire subreddits and YouTube channels almost exclusively dedicated to all the fights that break out at Waffle House.
I feel like if you're working at Waffle House, you need to come prepared in like military style defensive equipment. Like you need the you gotta bring your helmet, you gotta bring your body armor, you gotta bring your assault rifles, everything. Yay, waffle fights.
I remember the first time I went to a Waffle House. I stretched first, I grabbed a GoPro, I was ready to yell World Star, nothing exciting happened. I just had delicious breakfast at like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is probably 99% of people's experiences because despite all of the negative PR, Waffle House makes a ton of money and has an incredible
I
business
can
model.
imagine.
Okay, Waffle House had about $1.4 billion in revenue last year, which is
Wow.
about $650,000 per location. And when you take into consideration that each Waffle House is absolutely tiny, that's really impressive. Out of their 2,100 tiny Waffle
Very
House
effective.
locations, their yearly stats are 58 million cups of coffee, 100
What? Oh, let me just look at all this. That is huge, man. For such tiny locations, they're churning out really big money.
24 million waffles, 153 million servings of hash browns, 272 million eggs, which is about 2% of all the eggs consumed in the United States of America, and
That's a lot.
85 million strips of bacon. Yes, I did the math. That is about 8,000 miles worth of bacon.
8,000 miles of bacon? Dude, that's basically from... That might even be more than the length of South Africa. And that's just how much bacon you guys print in a year. Woo.
What you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
So Waffle House is obviously doing something right. What exactly are they doing? Well, it all comes down to their business model and their branding. Now, with the Waffle House branding, all the negative PR about fights always breaking out at Waffle House, in a way, has actually helped them out a ton.
I love my Waffle House. It's near the outskirts of town, so it's a chill one. Oh, nice. Sadly, we don't have any Waffle Houses down here. I mean, we do have restaurants that serve waffles and breakfasts, so we were kind of covered in other ways.
Because Waffle House, by and large, is pretty much a regional chain. It's primarily down in the South. Yet,
Okay.
Waffle House has become a household name pretty much everywhere in America. You could have never even seen a Waffle House, and you already know Waffle House is open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and
Oh,
they
nice.
serve breakfast. Why do you know they serve breakfast?
Wait. Why are they open 24 hours a day if they only serve breakfast?
Because their name is fucking Waffle House. I mean, look at this sign. You're driving down the road, you see that, you know
Unless maybe they offer waffles throughout the whole day and just breakfast at breakfast times, maybe?
everything you need to know. They sell breakfast. The end. Do that with another breakfast place. If you're not from there and you don't know what a Denny's or a Perkins or an IHOP is, you have no idea.
Oh man, the IHOP. I'm getting flashbacks from the fanboy goth IHOP thing. Oh no.
It's just a restaurant, maybe. Waffle House, they're selling waffles, which means there's like a 99% chance they sell other breakfast food.
They got sandwiches too that are more lunch dinner? Oh, sweet.
Fucking sold. I'm in. So already, the branding is absolutely incredible, but here's the true genius of it. Why did they call it Waffle House? Why didn't they call it Breakfast House or Bacon House or Hash Brown House? It's because waffles had the highest profit margin.
Oh, that's smart. So if you name it after something that has your highest profit margin, people are gonna come specifically to you for that product. This is actually genius.
Not stress to you enough how absolutely genius that is, right? Because you don't need to sell breakfast, all right? Everybody's already
You just
in
need to
on
sell the
breakfast,
waffles.
Okay, I could be blackout drunk at 4 in the morning. And
Like, just think about it, how it works psychologically. Like, if you go to a restaurant that's called Bacon House, you're gonna be like, this place is known for their bacon, right? So when you're there for lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever, you're gonna want to order their bacon, right? Because it's called the Bacon House. I mean, that's just something that you instinctively want to do. They got ball and pork chops too, sweet. So if you're at some place that is called Waffle House. Imagine going there and not ordering any waffles, right? You're gonna be like, damn, this place must have really nice waffles because they're called the Waffle House. Let me try the waffle. And because that has their highest profit margin, they're just, you know, absolutely rolling in cash.
And you could ask me, hey, do you want breakfast? I'm coming up like the Undertaker every single time. And then
Lol.
you go, the only thing open right now is Waffle House. Okay, I was already sold on breakfast from the get-go, but because Waffle House is where we're going, guess what I'm getting? A motherfucking waffle.
Yep, exactly what I said. If you're going to Bacon House, you're gonna get bacon. If you're going to Waffle House, you're gonna get waffles.
And they're making more money. It makes sense that Tom Faulkner was a counterintelligence officer because the man literally said 2 words and has already subconsciously tricked you into ordering the most expensive thing on the menu that makes him the most money. So the
See, exactly what I said.
branding of Waffle House
Very
is both
ingenious.
simple and brilliant, and the rest of the business model matches that to a T. Okay, all Waffle Houses are like virtually identical. They're very small. They only seat like 30 people, and you can actually see the
Okay.
cook making you your food. Now, at a glance, you're just like, oh, they're just going for that like 1950s drive-through type of a vibe, which they are, but there's way more to it than that. Because of
When I visited Alabama, there's one I love that's in the Wiregrass area. Ooh, that's
restaurant
fun.
is so small, the kitchen never has the opportunity to get bogged down, meaning that they're moving tables very, very quickly. So instead of having one kitchen and 100 customers, you've got one kitchen and 30 customers, and you can just turn those tables over 3 times faster, which pretty much guarantees that every customer is going to get exactly what they wanted. Okay, they're not going in there for 5-star dining.
True.
They're going in there because they're hungry and they want breakfast, and now they're going to get breakfast really quick in a small setting that doesn't feel like a packed restaurant where they have to wait in line to be seated. And I don't
That's actually a very good point, because, I mean, if the faster you can serve your customers, the more likely they're going to want to come to your restaurant, and the more likely they're going to want to come to your restaurant, the more customers you're going to get. It kind of reminds me of, there's a similar situation that I have here in my hometown where there's a hairdresser and he charges like $500 to do your hair, but he takes like, I don't know, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes, right? And, you know, he'll do the whole works, you know, he'll make sure it's nice and washed and cleaned, and then he'll take his time, you know, making sure everything's prim and perfect, whatever. And it's, you know, considered a very, you know, luxurious place to go get your hair done, whatever, okay? And then there is this random Turkish guy down the road, you know, a Habibi Mehet, or whatever you want to call him, and he will do it for like $80, and you'll be in and out in like 6 or 7 minutes, and your hair is done. That guy makes huge money because he is seeing like 10 times the amount of customers that the other one is seeing, you know, in the hour. So because one sees like maybe 2 customers an hour, this guy's seeing, you know, 10, 12 customers an hour because of just how fast he can do their hair, you know. So people are more incentivized to go there because they don't want to pay extra for the luxurious coffee and all of, you know, getting the whole massaging shampoo thing. They're just gonna pile on. They just want a quick haircut and they want it done now. And so that's why that guy is making huge dosh.
know what you're thinking. What if one Waffle House just reaches its maximum capacity, right? What if it's just completely full with a line out the door 24/7 every day of the year? Waffle House surely would build a bigger Waffle House, right?
Nope.
No. We're going to take the same parking lot, and right next to that first Waffle House, we're going to build a second fucking Waffle House.
This is so funny.
Okay? The plan is working, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. Which is one of those things that seems dumb, but is actually brilliant. So obviously, speed is key to this business model, and they've done themselves a big favor with their menu, because their menu is overwhelmingly simple, okay? It's literally one side of one piece of paper. Okay, the entire menu is comprised of like 10 things. They have waffles, sausage, bacon, ham, eggs, toast, biscuits, gravy, butter, and syrup.
The heck you need gravy for?
Guess how many flavors of syrup they have? One. It's fucking syrup-flavored syrup. The entire
Syrup flavored syrup.
menu is simple, exactly how it's supposed to be. Oh, sorry, they have hash browns too. Sorry, 11 things, not 10. Anyways,
I actually like hash browns. They're really nice.
moving on. Another reason they do so good is they actually might be the best fast food chain when it comes to taking care of their employees. They pay them higher than average, they have super flexible schedules, and they're one of, if not the only fast food chain that actually offers all their employees healthcare and dental insurance. Okay?
That's really nice. Gravy for the mashed taters and the hash browns, perhaps? Oh, you actually make a good point. I forgot you can actually put gravy on that. I missed the mashed taters.
And I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, but really, how good are they actually treating the Waffle House employees? I got the one stat that's everything you need to know, okay? Waffle House treats their employees so well that employees are willing to commute into a natural disaster to work at a different Waffle House when the occasion arises. Yeah.
That's dedication right there. If you want a solid business, a lawyer, sorry, not lawyer, a lawyer, jeez, my English, a loyal workforce is something that is absolutely key. That can help keep your business afloat and running smooth as butter.
Waffle House is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they fucking mean it, okay? Whenever there's like a hurricane coming or some type of impending natural disaster, Waffle House organizes what they call a jump team, a bunch of Waffle House employees from a different region that's going to be unaffected because they know that their local employees are going to be busy taking care of their own family and their own houses during a hurricane, so they bring in teams from outside the region to work inside of a natural fucking disaster, and they're willing to do it.
They're organized basically like a military. Damn.
I never said thank you.
And you'll never have to.
Based.
Okay, McDonald's can barely get their employees to show up on a good day, and Waffle House has
Oh yeah, I've heard McDonald's employees complain so much. They will show up 2 hours late for work, and they will get absolutely have absolute huge meltdowns over the smallest thing. I'm pretty sure I saw a video on Twitter the other day of these McDonald's employees all doing a collective screaming at the sky or whatever. It was so stupid.
employees volunteering to commute into a fucking hurricane to make breakfast. And this
That's when you know you got some loyal workers right there.
is the most impressive part of the business because Waffle House has the best logistics and preparedness of any company I've ever seen ever. The only entity that beats them in logistical capacity is the United States military.
I mean, that's exactly what I said, right? They're basically organized like a military. And I think it shows because one of the guys who's behind all of this basically worked in what, counterintelligence? And it
Waffle House
shows.
is literally ready for absolutely anything. Every single Waffle House has the playbook inside of it that details exactly how the staff is supposed to handle literally any type of emergency or situation that could possibly arise. And if for some
Damn.
reason the situation comes across that isn't in that playbook, after it happens, they immediately add it to the playbook. It covers
Oh,
tornadoes,
sweet. Immediate
hurricanes,
updates.
floods, a hole in the roof from a branch falling, a car driving into the restaurant. You can drive a car into Waffle House and they're still planning on staying open. The play
Man, this is absolutely insane. I need to go to a Waffle House. Just the sheer reputation these guys have is too amazing of an opportunity for me to pass up. If I ever, by God's grace, end up in the US of A, first thing I'm doing is going to Waffle House.
playbook even has detailed plans for every type of disaster for what the local employees, while they're not working, should go home and do to make sure that their house and their family are safe as well. Every single Waffle House has a backup generator. The stovetop, it runs on propane and they have a bunch of extra propane tanks on hand. Flashlights, candles, batteries, backup water. They have a special menu of what they're able to serve when the water is out and they're running on reserve water. When a Waffle
Oh,
House
wow.
location is going to be in a disaster area, that Waffle House stocks up on extra food, and then all of the neighboring locations in the unaffected area also stock up and stage food there to get them more food when they need it. If Waffle House is a standing structure, those motherfuckers are serving breakfast come hell or high water.
I'm absolutely blown away by this. This is probably my favorite deep dive into any restaurant ever. I don't think any restaurant, even in South Africa, has even remotely this level of cool factor about them. These guys are highly organized and omega prepared for anything. You know, come hell or high water. I'm absolutely fascinated. I'm actually at a loss of words of just how absolutely mind-boggling this is.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving!
Waffle House is so good at this that FEMA uses them to gauge how bad natural disasters really are. Yes,
Wait, what?
FEMA FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, literally uses the Waffle House Index to gauge how bad a disaster is.
So you could be like, okay, so we got a type 1, no Waffle House is closed. A type 2, okay, 1 or 2 Waffle House is closed. And then like the category 6 hurricane is the type where you get multiple Waffle House shut down houses.
In green, Waffle House is running as normal. Yellow, Waffle House is using the backup generator or having to use an altered menu. Red, Waffle House is closed. People are probably already fucking dead by that point.
Basically.
Waffle House is literally the Terminator of the fast food industry, okay? The fact that the federal government, probably the most powerful entity on the planet, maybe ever, looks at a chain of restaurants and is like, man, if Waffle House is closed, we need to mobilize the National Guard, is fucking crazy. Now, maybe you guys are thinking the same thing I was at this point in my research, and I'm like, man, I need to invest in this company. I need to see if I can open up my own Waffle House franchise. This company's awesome. And this is where the bad news comes in.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Technically, you can franchise a Waffle House, but most of us probably can't. The company is privately owned. It's not on the stock market. It's still owned by the families of the original
Based, by the way. Heckin' based.
2 founders. And while they do allow franchises, they are super picky about who they let buy in to have a franchise, and they make it very, very expensive to buy in to make sure this is actually what you want. And while that is unfortunate, I think it's actually kind of awesome. It's a company that actually has morals and cares about their image more than they care about next quarter's profits, okay?
And as a result, I'm betting you they're swimming in profits.
It's a company that has committed themselves to making breakfast under any circumstances, and they're going to see that through till the very end, even though they could probably make way more money by just selling franchises and letting whoever the fuck throw up a Waffle House. And now for the fairy tale ending, Joe and Tom worked together as best friends for 62 years.
62,
to build Waffle House into
damn.
what it is today. They both passed away at the ages of 97 and 98, and now Waffle House and their legacy lives on as that company is still being operated by their kids, and that is the American dream. Get
That is super wholesome.
together with one of your best friends, pick a goal, even if it's something as simple as serving breakfast to people, and never let anything get in between you and achieving your goal.
Not even a
hurricanes and
yep.
floods and natural disasters, apparently. Work with your best buddy for 62 years straight, and then die together and hand it off to your kids. In conclusion, Waffle
That is like not peak, but it certainly comes close to the ultimate male fantasy.
House is the most American company ever, and that's why I love it. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Good video, good video. I liked it. We'll give him a sub.
Just 2 homies that dedicated their life to serving my drunk ass breakfast at 3 a.m. I'm gonna get teary-eyed next time I go to a Waffle House.
That was amazing. Absolute W video. As always, guys, check out the Discord for the links.